Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back. It's the Sniper Raccoon, and on this Advanced Warfare video I'm going to be discussing the game mode Uplink, or otherwise known as my jam. Yeah, that's not going to go quickly now, is it? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off by giving you a brief overview of the game mode itself, and then I'm going to go into some little bit of specific details about that. I'm not going to go into class setups because it's all down to how you want to set up, but I'm going to talk about how we found where we've been playing it as a group of like 3-4 people, how you can actually set up your team and be very effective within the game mode, and then talk about some kind of flair bits you can do to just keep having fun, which we did the other night. So yeah. So now to talk about the game mode itself. Uplink consists of 2 5-minute rounds with a 10 score limit on each round. Now to score points in Uplink, what you need to do, you need to grab the satellite, and you can score in one of 2 ways. For 1 point you can get close to the uplink and use the right trigger, or R1, R2 depending on the PlayStation, or whatever keyboard it is mapped to on the PC, and throw the ball through the uplink. If you are attacking, you are always attacking the red uplink, and on your minimap it will actually show like a little arrow and say uplink on it, and if you are defending it will be like a solid little hexagon kind of thing and say defend, and in blue of all times. So you can score to score 2 points, I've already covered the 1 point. To score 2 points, what you need to do is you need to pick up that ball and you need to run and jump through the uplink itself. Now this obviously you need to be very close, you need to make sure there's no enemy teams around, but it is so much fun. And also it is pretty cool because once you jump through you get your gun back, and then you can just slay out all the defenders, and then if someone else on your team has got the uplink on the way, you can start a relay. It is pretty cool. So the last thing to cover the basics of the game mode is you can actually pass the uplink to our friendly player, or you can throw it to enemy players, because while you have the uplink, unfortunately you cannot use your guns, you can only melee them with the ball, which is quite fun to do, I'm not gonna lie. But what you can do is, as a little strategy, you can actually throw the ball to the enemy, disarm them, go up and shoot them, you get your gun back, and then carry on and you get the uplink back. It is a strategy that I have used on a couple of times and people have used it on me. It is fracking frustrating, but if you can time it right, it is pretty effective. But what you can do is you can set up positions on the map with teammates, and you can pass the ball by pressing the LT or the left L2, L1, or whatever it is on the PlayStation, and it depends on where you're on the map as to how effective this is. Some maps are better than others for doing this. Other maps you're better off running on your own. But what we found with Solar and Instinct as well, it is much better to try and use teammates strategically positioned around the map to try and get the ball to specific areas, and it adds for an easier score. Now, one thing you will have seen a little short while ago on the video is I chucked the ball out of bounds. Now this is another good strategy to use, especially when the enemy is pushing hard through your base. If the uplink is really close to your base and you know that there's enemies going to be around you, what you're best off doing is neutralizing the ball, resetting it, and starting again. Because if you get killed in your base, it just leads it to an easy score for them. So sometimes you are best to just let it run out of bounds, and unfortunately that's stuck there where no one can get it, so we're just going to have to wait for that one to reset. So that is pretty much the basics of Uplink covered, and we are pretty much close to half time in this game mode. You can see the score is pretty tight in this game. I'm not gonna throw any spoilers out there, but the second half, not so tight. But obviously I'll let you see that in the video rather than me talking about it right now. So what I've decided to do for this video is I'm actually going to split it into 2 halves. So the first half of this game is going to end in just about, according to the video, 46 seconds time, and then the second half is going to be in a separate video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss how you can set up your team to effectively win in Uplink. So this one is going to be called What is Uplink, and a brief overview about it, showing the first half, and then in a couple of days later you will see the second half of this gameplay with some extra jam footage from me because I think it's kind of nice to just show and keep it a bit separate, keep the videos nice and short, just to about 5 minutes long, and you don't get too bored with listening to my voice all the time. So yeah, it is wrapping up right now. I hope you've enjoyed this little detail about what is Uplink, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about how to set up your team for victory in Uplink, and you know, just have a laugh. So remember guys, AW, keep your KD above 1 and just have fun. See you next time.